this could come down to the wire here.
Certainly, and I think we're going to see safer-ish strategies from both of them. Both grabbing the mushroom in 1-1. And, yep, they both grabbed the mushroom in 1-1, and we got the screen flipped over here for y'all, so we'll get them evened up after the end of this level. The timers will get evened up, so looking good here, and both are powered up.
Yeah, actually pretty close already on the sync here. Yeah. So it looks like, they're both going for early fire, so they should both pick up the fire flower in the beginning of 1-2. That's generally the safest way to get fire. Just that it makes 1-2 a lot easier, and you don't have to do a lot of risky strats just to do it quickly. So, sure enough, here they are. They're picking it up, and they're gonna shoot some Koopas, shoot some Goombas out of the way.
Yep, and both are clean through so far, through the tight section there. Looks like Jeremy may have slightly closed the gap here, but might not be enough to close the gap fully.
He got a 53 into the pipes, and
oh, wow.
LK did not. So, so Jeremy saved a little time there.
They are neck and neck once again. So, they're going into 1-3. Neither of them are going to have to grab the power up here because they're fully powered up. So, it should be a pretty comfortable level. And then they will go into 1-4. But this does give us a chance to kind of reset the group here. So Jeremy has already played one match in this group. He beat Bad App in the first match. So Jeremy is 1-0. Bad App is 0-1. And LK and the Call have not played yet in this group. So they're both 0-0 in this group. With, of course, LK having his first match here and Jeremy having his second match here.
So 1-4, I figure we should see pretty much about the same thing from both players here. It could be vary a little bit depending on which way Bowser jumps. So LK got a forward Bowser, Jeremy got a backwards Bowser. So Jeremy got through there just a little bit faster than LK, so he should be slightly in the lead here.
Yep, slightly in the lead into 2-1 here. The optimal will be to get 345 on the timer. You can get a 346 on the timer, but that would give you, because of that 6 in the ones digit, that would give you 6 fireworks, and 6 fireworks would cost you about 3 seconds. If you got a 3 in the ones digit of the timer, that would give you 3 fireworks, would cost you about 1.5 seconds. So, excuse me. So, you don't want to get fireworks, and Jeremy gets the optimal. LK gets a 344 heading into 2-2.
So pretty good from both players. I think LK maybe brushed up against something just slightly. I believe I caught there for just a second. But 2-2, this can be a little bit of a tricky level depending on what kind of patterns you get from the bloopers and the Cheep Cheeps.
We actually see 2 different strategies here. Jeremy's got the fire out, and LK did the crouch swim. So he landed on the ground. Well, technically it was on the coral. And he did a crouch swim to turn Mario into a small hitbox. Unfortunately, he got kind of a rough pattern there and had to wait it out despite being small Mario. So he will lose a little bit more ground here. But the main thing is it's okay to lose little bits and pieces of time here and there as long as you're not losing major chunks of time, and especially as long as you're not losing your power-up. So the smart decision there for LK was to not lose the power-up and just wait it out.
Yeah, unfortunately got kind of pinned there by the blooper, but he did make sure that he didn't lose power-ups, which is, he lost a little more time there from waiting, but it's usually better off just to take that a little safer than losing your power-up and having to spend the time to pick those back up.
Yeah, and I should mention both of these runners do have really good times, 1904 and 1915, as I mentioned, but we did commentate Jeremy's first race, and his plan is to take things a little bit safer where he needs to, so it does close up the PB gap, because of course PB attempts are different from race attempts, so we do expect a really close race between these two, and you'll see things like in 3-4, I bet we're going to see Jeremy take the Pota Boost safer, for example, instead of using the spreadsheet like he would for PB attempts.
Yeah. And for 2-3, pretty good for both players. LK got a couple of really nasty cheap patterns, so he had to slow down just a tad to keep from getting hit there. Oh, and Jeremy, looks like he kind of missed the jump there, ended up the little hole there. So LK is probably going to make up a little time here with a 260 on the timer going into World 3.
Yep. So that closed up 4 in-game seconds. That's approximately 4 frame rules. It's not quite an in-game second correlates to a frame rule, but it's pretty close. So LK made up maybe around a second and a half, give or take a little bit, and both are in 3-1. The trickiest part of 3-1, of course, is the stairs. There's 2 different ways to get to the end without, slowing down as far as the timer. So Jeremy gets the 347, LK also getting the 347, both of them using the same strategy where they shoot the first Koopa and then do a little turnaround jump over the second Koopa. Other people like to shoot the second Koopa on the stairs as well. I know Supersonic, for example, that's the method he prefers.
I'm more of the strat that they used. I'm more of a fan of that personally. I don't particularly like trying to shoot the second Koopa there, but it's whatever you're more comfortable with in that scenario.
Absolutely, and it's all about being comfortable in these things. So Jeremy shooting every possible enemy on the screen, it seems like. That was kind of fun. And LK with the Goomba despawn. Jeremy actually ended up despawning 2 Goombas in front of the stairs there, so that made it nice and comfortable for both runners to deal with the stairs. Normally there'd be 3 Goombas right in front of the stairs, and it does make that last little jump in front of the stairs kind of tight, so you, if possible, want to try to at least despawn one of the Goombas.
And making our way through 3-3 here, looks like nice job by both players. Didn't have any issues there. 3-3 is usually not too difficult of a level, especially the fire. But going into 3-4, we'll see how aggressively they want to take the Potaboos here. Especially in the second half of the level, you will, if they're playing safe strats, they'll probably back off here a little bit, like Jeremy just did. And so does LK, so taking it pretty safe through that. LK got a really high Potaboo there, so he decides to slow down just a little bit more, but they both got 258 on the timer, so they shouldn't really have any separation at this point.
Yeah, LK got the super high Potaboo as the very last Potaboo, so he took a little extra slowdown. He may have lost a frame rule relative to Jeremy, even though they both got 258s, just because he took that little extra slowdown, but either way, at most 0.35 seconds, 1 frame rule. So a frame rule, the game, for those of you who may be new, because we are just starting the tournament this year, new to what a frame rule is, that is at the end of each level, the game checks for the level completion every 21 frames. So as long as you finish the frame rule within that same 21, or finish the level within that same 21 frame window, you will go on to the next level at the same time as somebody else who finishes that same 21 frame window. But if those 21 frames rolls over to the next set of 21 frames, you will lose 0.35 seconds, because 21 frames equates to about 0.35 seconds.
Let's see which routes they take here. Looks like Jeremy's taking the bottom route. LK is going to also take the bottom route. So both bottom routes from these players on this match. Bottom route's a little more interesting to see. Top route's a little safer. But looks like excellent 4-2 by both players there. Didn't have any issues. So we'll go into 4-3.
4-3 with the Sky Boots. That's if you play through the whole 4-3 level without slowing down. And then you jump from a very specific 2-frame window off of the final elevator. Mario will actually come to rest of 1 pixel above the block. So you see Jeremy here. He was 1 pixel above the block when Mario came to rest. And that means he will save 2 frames. And that 2 frames is enough to get on the earlier bus there, the earlier frame rule. So that saved him an extra frame rule. LK had a bit of a bonk there, so he lost at least 1, maybe 2 frame rules there.
So for 4-4, this is the first of our maze castles here. Pretty much with this one, aside from the firebars, you just got to pick the right route through this. This Bowser here in 4-4 is actually pretty tricky when you've got the Potaboo, the fireballs, and the firebar going around at the same time. So LK looks like he did not get all the shots into Bowser there, so he's going to take a bit of a time loss there. But he didn't lose his power up, which also means it is pretty important as well. So we're going on to World 5 for the second half of this round.
And the reason, I gasped a little bit there was LK did not get the fire kill on Bowser. It's actually faster to kill Bowser with fire, and Jeremy takes a hit in 5-1.
Oh, and he gets a 6 on the timer too. So that's going
So
to
advantage swings
LK's
to
gonna,
LK.
yeah, LK's going to pick up some seconds here, especially now that Jeremy needs to pick up power-ups again. That'll probably close it right up and maybe give LK a bit of a lead here, potentially.
Yep, so Jeremy gonna maybe power up. He gets a nice stomp on the Hammer Bro there. And another one, the Hammer Bros are not playing too kind for him. But these ones are nice, and he'll be able to grab a power-up here, and then there's a power-up later in this level as well, not too far away from this one. So not a huge time loss for him, but certainly the advantage swings over to LK at this point.
So LK taking the lead into 5-3, which is another kind of a tricky level with the bullet bill spawns. Some of them can be pretty nasty and difficult to avoid, so we'll see what kind of patterns we get here. LK doing a buffer jump at the beginning of the level. I don't think Jeremy did that, but we'll see what kind of patterns they get. Oh, that was... LK got one that looked a little a little scary.
Yeah, for sure. And it's a very common strategy to see some runners do a buffer jump at the start of 5-3. Sometimes it can make the early bills a little bit nicer. So that's one strategy you can do, but it does cost you a little bit of time because it is slower to do that buffer jump at the beginning.
Both players doing the good bar strat where they wait a little bit under the item block there for the timer to reach 292 so that they get a good fire bar set up through the narrow hallway there. LK sliding under Bowser to shoot fireballs from the back there. Jeremy a little faster through there, so he's going to save a little bit of time here.
It looks like we're about 2 frame rules apart. Yeah,
we're
I think
pretty
about
close.
2 frame rules maybe. So 6-1, not too much. It's kind of like 4-1. You just run through. Lakitu won't hurt you. Jeremy decides to swag kill Lakitu anyway, and just plow through and don't stare boss.
So no issues for 6-1 for either one. And we get into a little more difficult one, 6-2. Pretty fun to watch, pretty fun to play when you're used to doing this level with fire. But 6-2 is a little one of the more technical levels in this this run.
Most definitely, and the other thing about 6-2 is you do have to do a slowdown at some point, because if you play perfectly without slowing down, you'll get a 3 on the timer in the ones digit. So again, 3 fireworks, that would cost you around 1.5 seconds. So we will see these players do slowdowns right there on the stairs, and both getting the perfect 342 and 6-2.
Very nice.
6-3, yeah. Also a couple options here. You can go top route or bottom route. Both have their merits and both have their, I guess, detractions.
Yeah, and it looks like in the beginning they both took the top route. There's another route where you can do, but you have to be careful about. Okay, Jeremy took the bottom route for the second half of it. So Jeremy taking the bottom route a little bit faster than LK on that. It's a little taking the top route. It's a little tougher to get a 255 on that, but pretty good 6-3 about both.
And we look like we're about a frame rule apart now. Both waiting out the fire bars in the beginning of 6-4. That should make for pretty comfortable patterns in through the 5 fire bar section there. And now it's just down to the Bowser kill. This is one of the spots where you can get lag. And looks like Jeremy got a better kill there and a little bit less lag. So he might actually be in the lead now over LK. So once again, the lead swings going into 7-1.
Yep, just slightly the other way. So it's been a tight race pretty much this whole time, but we're practically dead even at this point into World 7.
Yeah, we saw LK do a buffer jump. That means he won't have to slow down at the end of this level. So a couple different ways to play this level. You get a 352 on the timer optimally, but both players getting the 352. Now we're going to head into 7-2. 7-2 is a repeat of 2-2, just more enemies.
And still pretty much dead even going into 7-2. This one, depending on the patterns that you get, could cause a little bit of separation here, or it could go very well for both of them. We'll just have to see what kind of patterns they get here.
Should mention, just in case this race finishes this tight, we would have to do a retiming because there is the potential they started a little bit differently. We want to actually time it based off of how they run. So
and I think Jeremy took a hit. Oh, he did.
He did take a hit.
Oh, so that's if LK makes it through 7-2, that's a huge advantage.
Jeremy won't be able to power back up to fire before the start of World 8 because there's only one more power up in 7-3. So he's not going to be able to play 8-1 as Fire Mario. So it's imperative for LK that he keeps fire at this point so he can have the advantage in 8-1 and also the Bowser kill in 7-4.
Yeah, LK unfortunately lost a little bit of time there because he bonked on the stairs at the end, but he still definitely has an advantage at this point by still having fire. As long as he gets good patterns through this level. Jeremy did not stop for the mushroom, so he's going to take on World 8 small only. So we'll see how aggressively he wants to take 8-1 using that strat.
I think he might have gone for a flagpole glitch there, but didn't quite get it. But that would have been an interesting time save there for Jeremy. And he actually technically has the lead slightly, but he's going to lose the lead if LK gets through this level cleanly because LK will be able to do the fire kill. And that's where you'll see the difference. LK will do the fire kill. Jeremy will have to touch the axe and wait for the animation of Bowser falling into the lava. So that could be the difference.
Oh, yeah. And let's see how Jeremy gets a backwards Bowser. He would have preferred
so both touch
forward
the
Bowser
axe at
there.
the same time. Yeah. But now we see LK pulling forward into the lead there. So that's where you see the big difference. You know, right there, almost exactly, we can see the difference between fire kill and not.
Yeah, Jeremy would have preferred a forward Bowser in that situation so he could just run under him, but he had to hold up and wait for Bowser to jump again. He could have been super risky and tried to jump through the hammers, but that's usually not the best race strat there. So let's see how aggressively Jeremy takes the rest of 8-1 here.
So he did the first pipe jump. He skipped the second pipe jump, which means he slowed down a little over the Goombas. He's doing the third pipe jump. So if he completes this without slowing down, he get a 200, but he won't get the good judges 200. He'll get the bad judges 200 because he did a little slowdown.
And 200 for LK and 200 for Jeremy.
Nicely done. So Jeremy will lose 1 frame rule versus LK there because he didn't get the optimal frame rule because he did a touch of a slowdown there. But he does maintain pace and he still has a shot at this race.
Yep, and it's still very, very close. And something even as LK, if LK goes for the wall jump and Jeremy goes for the wall jump and LK misses it, it could pretty much tie this thing right back up. Pretty much at the separation they have at this point.
The confidence of Jeremy here doing the fast 8-2, and we are almost tied here, folks. This is crazy. Imagine if Jeremy pulls this back with small only versus fire. That would be an incredible achievement, but we'll have to see how 8-3 goes. Hammer Bro City.
Yeah, this is a pretty scary level when you don't have fire, and if you don't know what patterns you're going to get with the Hammer Brothers here. So, wishing best of luck for Jeremy on this one, that he gets some patterns that he can easily deal with. Looks good so far, and he's
nicely done.
Very nice. And
we are
wow,
basically tied going into the final level. This could come down to the turnaround, the swim, the wall jump. Potaboos getting hit on Bowser if LK takes the damage here. This is unbelievable.
This is 8-4. This is the last level, and the slightest mistake here is going to make the difference.
You would know about very close finishes, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah. I would know about that. Okay,
last year's tournament, we had a 3-frame
Jeremy gets
finish,
it.
and LK does the coin block strat.
So also, a thing that Jeremy has to take into consideration is Bowser. Is Bowser going to jump forward or not? Or is he going to try to jump through the hammers? LK doesn't have to worry about that so much at this point, as he can just jump through it. So let's...
Oh, LK takes
and he took the hit.
What is
Jeremy,
the Potaboo going to do?
Ooh.
Oh, it was close!
And he got a forward Bowser.
And Jeremy wins!
The 1925, and LK coming in with a 1930.
Oh my gosh, what a comeback by Jeremy. He lost his Fire Flower in 7-2, played the rest of the run as small only, and pulls off the win. At that point, Jeremy was absolutely not favored. but unbelievably plays a perfect, essentially World 8 to take the win. What a race, guys. You were just treated this amazing Mario.
He made it happen, even with the disadvantage. He pulled it off with a very impressive win here.
Yeah, and that's the advantage of really being a good any percent grinder as well. Jeremy holds, I think, 456 in SMB1 any percent, so that gave him certainly the confidence to be able to pull off a World 1 like that. I'm actually pulling up his any percent time. It is a 456.944, so we know he can crush the any percent game, and that's what he needed to actually take home this race.
Yeah. But I think, let's see, this is the third year I've been running this tournament. I'd say this race is probably pretty easily in the top 5 close races we've had, as far as especially late game.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see if we can get Jeremy in here, for an interview. And it looks like he is here. Jeremy's mic is muted, but he probably can hear us at this point in time. Jeremy, wow. I don't know if you were aware, Jeremy, of what happened there. Obviously, you took the hit in the 7-2 water section, but I don't know if you're aware of how close that race was. Give your mic a little unmute there, Jeremy, and let us know how you felt about that race, and were you aware of where LK was?
That was kind of crazy. So, yeah, I did know where LK was. I had the stream open. And so many things went wrong in that run. I idiot Boston 5-1, or 5-2. No, it was 5-1. Then bad luck in 7-2. And so I thought it was over. So I challenged almost everything in World 8. And so going into 8-4, the stream was a bit of delay. So I thought I was done, because last time I saw LK, he was in 8-2, like a second ahead of me. And I mean, Bowser was nice, Podoboo was nice, and that's maybe the most undeserved win I've ever had.
It was, well, every win is deserved if you play well enough, and I think you definitely made the most of the situation. You're definitely in a tough situation there, but you made the most of it, so well done there. So what did exactly happen in 5-1?
I just wasn't thinking, and then I was unlucky enough for the bullet to shoot at me as I dropped down. Like, normally you would jump over the bullet bill launcher. I don't know why I jumped into there, but I suppose it worked out in the end.
Yeah, you played World 8 very aggressively, and it definitely paid off for you. I think in that situation, had you not played that aggressively, then the outcome may have not gone this way. But it's very impressive to see, especially with 8-1, since sometimes you have to make the decision: do you want to play 8-1 safe, or do you want to go for 200? And you went for the 200, and pretty much, I mean, it wasn't just that and stuff, but the whole, well, with 8-2 as well. You just pretty much look like you went all out for all the World 8, and it paid off in your favor.
Yeah. So what I did in 8-1 was, there are actually strats that Nifsky made up so that he could do 11x and get sub 5s every time. So I skipped that second pipe jump so that I could guarantee that I get bad judges frame roll.
Yeah. So you skipped the second pipe jump, and then you did a touch of a slowdown over the Goomba section, right? And then you do the third pipe jump. Yeah. So you got the 200, but with the bad judges. Other than that, I mean, perfect 8-2. You went for the pipe clear as well. I wasn't sure if you were going to go for like a BBBB or just go all out in 8-2, and you did. And then 8-3, the Hammer Bros cooperated. You got the double, you got the double kill on the bottom there, but perfect 8-3 as well.
That 8-2 is crazy because I've not done any percent attempts in a while, and I haven't gotten to 8-2 in a long time. And I didn't do any small Mario practice. Nothing like, fast 8-1 and blant jump. So I just, again, I thought I lost at that point. So I just figured, why not? just show off a bit.
Yep. So looking at your group, unless there is a 3-way tie for first place, which is still possible, you will be moving on. So you're not guaranteed to move on yet, but you're certainly in a good situation here at 2-0 atop your group, with wins over Bad App and LK. Your last match will be versus the Call. How do you see the rest of the group? Not just your match with the Call, but the rest of the group shaking out.
I think, again, I don't know how good the Call is right now, but if I had to place my bets, I'd say LK will probably end up moving on with me, and then I'll just instantly lose in the bracket because 1925.
Yeah, that's right. So we will be seeding the knockout stage by the best. Rupert, what is it? The best time in the group stage?
Basically, the plan at this point is to see them by, I guess, what would essentially be your, I guess, average time over the 3 races.
Gotcha.
In general, and all that. Pretty much, I'll take all 3 of the races, and you get points for that. So basically, it'll be seeded not by PB like we've done in the past, but your performance in the group stage. Since I feel like, since we have it set up this way, this would be a little more of an accurate representation of seeding with, doing live races as opposed to PB.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, it should be, if possible, based off your performance in the event itself. So, Jeremy, you have a 1941 and a 1925. Think you can knock down an even better one in your final match?
If it's not a 1910, I'm quitting the game.
Oh, shoot. There we have it, folks. Alrighty. Well, any other final thoughts from Rupert or Jeremy here?
Well, that
I was just going to say that was a very impressive race from both you and LK. That was very exciting to watch. Can't talk today. Wish both of you the best of luck in the rest of your matches, and hopefully we'll see you on the bracket stage.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, both of you, for commentary. Thanks everyone in chat for stopping by. GG's to LK. Thank you to everyone else. SpeedGaming for helping host the tournament.
Most definitely. I think that's a perfect segue into the schedule. So that's our last race for tonight as far as the SMB1 Warpless tournament. We have 2 tomorrow, both in the evening. We've got at 9 p.m. East Coast time, Stewie Cartman versus the Elder Spork. And at the very same time, LK again versus Bad App. So your group is going to be rolling right along. So that is, both of those races are at 9 p.m. And then an hour after those races start at 10 p.m., we've got JT Knott versus London B 415. And so both of those are tomorrow night. We've got a race Monday, a race Wednesday on the schedule, a couple the following Saturday. So we're building up a nice schedule here, and 2 more tomorrow night. I do also want to say thank you to SpeedGaming for hosting this tournament. Be sure to tune into the SpeedGaming family of networks. There's 6 of them here. There's also some other SpeedGaming networks on different languages at 10 p.m. Eastern. So right now is about half an hour from now. There will be a Zelda 1 randomizer random percent match, and we've got Link to the Past going on over on different channels, SpeedGaming 5, etc. We've got all sorts of things coming up. I should say the Zelda 1 Z1R is on SpeedGaming 3, and we got Mega Man 4 coming up on SpeedGaming 1. So lots of different things on the SpeedGaming family of networks. Thank you so much to SpeedGaming for hosting our tournament again. Great partners, and got the schedule out there. So that is going to do it for this edition. We will see you all tomorrow. Doubleheader, and actually 3 races between 2 time slots. So have a great night, everyone. Congrats again to Jeremy and LK. What an amazing race. That was so close and so fun to watch. GG's to you both. So for Rupert83, I am Takate. Everybody have a great night, and we'll catch you tomorrow.
Take care, everyone.